Hello and welcome to another video. Today we'll be making a full-scale replica bust of Iron Man's Mark III armor. So sit back and relax and enjoy the video. So let's talk about this print real quick. It took 231 hours to print. That's just over 9.5 days. And it took 2,756 grams of filament. That is just under 3 rolls. In interest in keeping the video not too long, I'm not going to entirely cover the sanding and priming process here. As always, I sanded with different grits of sandpaper, starting at 60 and ending around 800. And I applied several heavy coats of filler primer, repeating the steps until I was satisfied with the finish. And once you are satisfied with the finish, you can do 2 more rounds of sanding, this time wet sanding with 400 and 800 grit. This is going to give you that super smooth finish so you're ready for paint. Alright, now let's take a minute to talk about the helmet real quick. The helmet was actually printed in 6 different pieces, and those 4 pieces do not include the face shield and the eyes. To make sure the helmet just wouldn't fall apart on me, I used my favorite product ever, Gorilla Glue, and then went over all the seams and soldered them together. And after all that was done, plus the sanding and the priming, the helmet looked like this. If you saw my Iron Spider helmet build from a few videos back, this got the exact same paint process, starting with this Rust-Oleum gold. And as always, multiple light coats were done. All the other pieces got the gold treatment as well. For the red, we will be once again using this Duplicolor metal cast. To reference my Spider-Man video once again, this paint is more of a tint than your generic paint. While we may have just used 2 or 3 coats of the gold, this particular red may use 7, 8, 9, maybe even 10 coats. One of my favorite parts of this project was that there was little to no taping that needed to be done. Here you see I'm removing the tape from what I guess I'll call the lips. And then the upper little red section you see right below my hand with the lines. I'm gonna go back and tape that off later and paint it black, but other than that, that's the only taping that needed to be done on this entire project. I had ran into some trouble earlier that I did not document in this video, but this is when I ran into some really big trouble. So the first issue were these little squiggly marks. There are these big ones here and here, but there was also some smaller ones here, here, and here. I was hoping I could just spray on top of them, but if you remember back to what I said earlier, that this is more of a tint than an actual paint, I stopped filming out of frustration before I actually got there, but you can kind of see it a little bit. I started to get some very bad runs here on the front part of the armor. Alright, it was at this point that I started doing a pretty poor job with the filming, so I just wanted to talk about the things I missed out on real quick. I sanded down the entire chest piece and repainted it with the gold and red paint and made sure to pay better attention this time. I masked off the black areas of the helmet and painted those with a matte black. And I also painted the extra chest details with some silver rub and buff. It's now time to attach the ears. I needed something to actually attach them to, so I'm going to be using this raft material. And to make sure the raft material gets a strong bond to the helmet, I'm going to be using this E6000. And then to make sure that the ears get a good attachment to the raft material, I'm going to be using my good friend Gorilla Glue. To seal everything in and give it a nice shine, I use Duplicolor 1K Clear Coat. This is just like everything else we've done in this build. Light coats and then one heavy coat at the end won't hurt.